Thank you. First, I'd like to thank our media friends here for your patience, also for helping us to disseminate information today. We appreciate that. We'll give you kind of an update on where the investigation has led us, and then open it up to some questions. As this investigation is continued today, to recap, we did have a 4:30 in the morning, 4:15 approximately, mistake. Ferris student was shot at the Venlo apartments. I can tell you that he has been treated and released from the hospital. So that's some real good news for us. As the investigation is continued today, we started off with searches of some apartments this morning where a suspect vehicle ended up. We did forcible searches at a couple apartments there. We did some other voluntary searches in the area. We did not find anything. The investigation continued, and it has now led us to another apartment in the same apartment complex, the Fitchburg apartment complex. We have information that would lead us that the suspect may be there at this time. There was a female in that apartment who did come out voluntarily a few hours ago. She's at the Costa County Sheriff's Department being questioned. We made numerous attempts to contact the suspect. He was in that apartment with no success. So for the second time today, the State Police Emergency Support Team is here on campus. And when they're here on a situation like this, they assume tactical control of the situation at that location. So basically that means that they'll make their attempts to contact or eventually enter that apartment to advance the investigation in lots of different ways. The tactics they use to try and end this thing peacefully, or find out if the suspect is in there, and if not, help us to go in other directions to find the suspect. University apartments, housing in the area, the immediate area were evacuated. In the other area, outside of that inner perimeter, we advise them to stay in place, be safe. They go somewhere, be with partners, just be extra diligent. I guess at this time we can turn it over to some questions. Yes?
Is the suspect a Ferris student?
We have no indication, no information to indicate that he is or has ever been a Ferris student.
The woman that you're taking in for questioning, has she said that the suspect is in that apartment right now?
We're still questioning her. She has not given us information. I would say it's safe to say she's not been cooperative since we've been talking to her.
What led you guys initially to that apartment the second time around?
We received information from another person here that the suspect may be in that apartment, along with at least one female, perhaps two.
And at this point, you've had no contact with him at all?
No contact whatsoever with a male in the apartment. One female came out of the apartment. We feel at this point that she is just a roommate there. She doesn't have a lot of knowledge about what's going on. The other female that came out was taken into custody, may have been involved with the shooting this morning. And so at this time, we don't feel like there's any other females in the apartment. So now the team is trying to decide who's the male.
And we had seen reports earlier that initially the description involved dreadlocks, but that may not be the case any longer.
It's obviously that's the hairstyle. It's easy to change. So as we're putting information out, we want people to understand that the initial description was black male, mid-20s, 150 pounds approximately, 5'10", 6 foot, with dreadlocks. Obviously, a dreadlock hairstyle is something that could be changed easier, so we may or may not still work it.
So just to clarify, one woman came out voluntarily.
Yes.
And one woman came out on her own, I guess also voluntarily, but
Yes.
is not being cooperative.
Yes, the first one that came out has not been cooperative. The second female is being questioned at this time and is cooperating, but I think may not have much information on what was going on.
Are the females fair students also?
One is a former Ferris student, one is a current Ferris student.
Do you have a name at all for the suspect yet?
We feel we've identified the suspect. We're not releasing that yet. We don't want to do anything that would interfere with what's happening, with trying to find him. So we feel we've identified him, but will not be released at this time.
Have police entered that apartment at all yet?
The state police emergency support team are there now. They have numerous tactics that they'll use to try and end these things peacefully. They'll use robotics, they'll use dogs, they'll use attempt communication systems. They have lots of other equipment, tactical approaches that it wouldn't be safe for me to discuss for their protection. But they're very professional, and they're very well equipped, and really do everything they can to end these peacefully.
Do you know the age of the student that was shot?
I believe he's 20, but don't know anything on that. I'm not quite sure.
Where were the students placed that were evacuated from Finchcourt?
Pardon me?
Where were the students placed that were evacuated from Finchcourt?
Some other housing, might be the Quality Inn, I'm not sure. Other housing is being arranged for them, for folks that can't come back.
Were they all evacuated in their?
Yeah, no, the apartments immediately around and adjacent to that apartment, what we would call in the fire zone, so that if there was an exchange of gunfire, we're there in immediate harm, those are evacuated. We work out from there and trying to get people out and let them know what's going on, let them know where they can go, where they can find food and shelter and those sorts of things.
How many people did you evacuate? How many apartments were there?
I think there were about 12 people.
12 people.
I believe so. I think 6 apartments, 12 people.
As of right now, though, there's not 100% certainty that he is actually in that apartment.
That is correct, thank you. That is not 100% certainty. We're going on our best leads. All the agencies are working hard together. This is the best lead we have right now. The state police team will continue what they're doing. There will be a resolution with that apartment eventually. The state police will keep advancing, using every tool that they have to try and make contact, and they'll decide what to do from there.
What transpired with the vehicle you found?
Vehicle was secured, and we had a search warrant for the vehicle. The vehicle was being searched by the crime lab.
Did it leave that? Did it hurt anybody? Or did it just?
Because the vehicle's still being searched, I can't, thank you, yeah, it's still being searched at this time. When the crime lab comes up, they're very meticulous and very careful, and so it could take a while for them to finish.
Where specifically was the vehicle located?
Well, originally, we think the vehicle that we had was at the scene of the shooting. And then the vehicle, one of our officers found the vehicle at the Finchcourt Apartments apartment. That would have been probably around 5 a.m. this morning, maybe a little bit after 5 a.m.
Has the firearm been recovered yet?
They're still searching the car, so really don't give so many different people in different areas that they're searching the car and completing that at this time.
Is there more information as to why the shooting occurred and just the spoke of it?
We really don't know much. Obviously, our first concern with the victim is always obviously their medical health and their mental health, to make sure that they're getting everything they need. The victim will be interviewed, attempt to be interviewed here, but first concern, letting family know what's going on, making sure the victim's okay, and then making sure the victim has comfortable accommodations when he gets back to school, counseling that he might need for sorts of things.
So So you guys didn't know the relationship between the victim and the shooter yet?
Don't yet. We don't yet. It would appear that this was not a random thing, not a drive-by type situation, that there was some type of discussion, argument, or altercation in the parking lot in Venlo, but we're still working.
Any other questions for Director Borkovich?
Thank you.